菜根谭。
Tending the roots of wisdom.
113. 从容处家族之变，凯切归朋友之师。
113. Handle family changes with composure, and deal decisively with the mistakes of friends.
菜根谭原文：处父兄骨肉之变，宜从容不宜激烈；遇朋友交游之师，宜凯切不宜悠游。
白话文注解：当亲人间不幸发生家庭纠纷或人伦惨变事故时，你必须从容面对，保持沉着冷静，不可因一时冲动采取激烈言行，而把事情弄得更糟。当好朋友犯了什么过失，你应当亲切诚恳地规劝他，绝对不可以姑息纵容，眼看着他继续错下去。
113-1. In the unfortunate event of family disputes or tragedies among loved ones, it's essential to face them calmly and maintain composure. Acting impulsively with intense words or actions can worsen the situation. When a close friend makes a mistake, it's important to offer sincere advice and guidance, rather than tolerating or condoning their behavior and allowing them to continue on the wrong path. Translated by Bayandefu.
113-2. When there is discord in your family, be steady and composed. Don't get unduly excited. When there is misunderstanding among friends, be appropriately severe in advice. Don't be easygoing or indulgent. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 113-3. When unexpected troubles break out between family members, keep calm instead of being upset. When a friend errs, be sure to give him kind advice and help him mend his ways, do not let him go his own way. Translated by Paul White.
113-4. When unfortunate family disputes or tragic incidents occur among loved ones, it is essential to face them calmly and maintain composure. Avoid escalating the situation by refraining from impulsive actions or harsh words. If a close friend makes a mistake, it is crucial to advise them kindly and sincerely. Never tolerate or condone their actions, and intervene to prevent them from continuing down a harmful path. Translated by Wen Lin.
114. 大处着眼，小处着手。
114. Focus on the big picture while taking care of the details.
菜根谭原文：小处不渗漏，暗处不欺隐，末路不带荒，才是个真正英雄。
白话文注解：一个人做人做事，处处小心谨慎，就是细微的地方也不会出现疏漏，即使是待在没人听见没人看见的地方，也绝对不做件不得人的事，尤其处于穷困潦倒万分失意的时候，仍旧毫不懈怠，这样的人才算得上是真正有作为的英雄好汉。
114-1. A person who approaches every task and interaction with careful attention avoids any room for mistakes, even in the smallest of details. They refrain from engaging in questionable actions, even when they believe no one is watching or listening. Especially during times of adversity and extreme disappointment, they remain diligent. Such an individual can truly be considered an accomplished and virtuous hero. Translated by Bayandefu.
114-2. Not to let small things leak and spread, not to let secret matters give rise to deception, not to squander and neglect the end of the journey, these are the authenticity of a hero. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 114-3. The true hero does not neglect small details, nor does he commit trickery even though he is hidden from men's sight, nor does he slacken his efforts even when beset by seemingly insuperable difficulties. Translated by Paul White.
114-4. A person who conducts themselves with meticulous care in every aspect of life will avoid overlooking even the slightest details. Even in places where no one can see or hear, they refuse to engage in actions that they wouldn't want others to witness. Especially during times of extreme poverty and despair, they remain diligent and unwavering. Such an individual can be considered a true and accomplished hero. Translated by Wen Lin.
115. 爱众反为仇，保己反成喜。
115. Excessive love may turn into enmity, while occasional kindness may bring unexpected joy.
菜根谭原文：千金难结一时之欢，一饭竟致终身之感。盖爱重反为仇，薄疾反成喜也。
白话文注解：一掷千金未必能留住一个人的欢心，一顿斋饭也可能使人明恩终生。施恩过重，一个处置不当，熟人就会翻脸成仇；偶施小惠，个个反倒是满心欢喜。
115-1. Spending a fortune might not necessarily win someone's affection. Sharing a simple meal could create a lasting bond of gratitude. Excessive generosity might strain a relationship if not handled properly. Occasional small favors, on the other hand, often bring genuine joy and appreciation. Translated by Bayandefu.
115-2. It is hard to bind friends together for a moment of happiness, even with 1,000 pieces of gold, yet just a single meal will earn responses for a lifetime. Usually extreme love rebounds as enmity, while the slightest kindness is met with joy. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 115-3. 1,000 pieces of gold will not earn a moment of true friendship, but a simple kindness like offering a meal may earn a lifetime's gratitude. Love, if taken to extremes, can arouse enmity, while no deep affection is required to generate great satisfaction. Translated by Paul White.
115-4. Spending a fortune may not necessarily win someone's favor, while a simple vegetarian meal could leave a lasting impression. Bestowing excessive favors can lead to strained relationships if not handled properly, but small acts of kindness can bring genuine joy to everyone involved. Translated by Wen Lin.
116. 藏巧于拙，欲轻于拙。
116. Conceal cleverness within clumsiness, and harbor purity amid turbidity.
菜根谭原文：藏巧于拙，用晦而明；欲轻于拙，以屈为伸。真涉世之一壶，藏身之三窟也。
白话文注解：做人宁可装得笨拙一点，不可显得太聪明；宁可收敛一点，不可锋芒毕露；宁可随和一点，不可太自命清高；宁可低调一点，不可太张扬。这才是立身处世最有用的解药，这才是明哲保身最有用的安全措施。
116-1. In life, it's better to appear a bit clumsy than excessively clever, to be reserved rather than overtly assertive, to be accommodating instead of self-righteous, and to maintain a modest profile rather than being overly flashy. These are the most effective antidotes for navigating the world, the most practical safeguards for preserving one's integrity. Translated by Bayandefu.
116-2. Let ineptness sheath your skills, and obscurity diffuse your light. Let the masses sully your purity, and submission be the means of your enhancement. Let longevity be your single objective in passing through the world. Cherish these 3 caves as your own. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 116-3. Adopt a semblance of stupidity in order to disguise your real talents. Hide your acumen under the cover of seeming dullness. Put on a mask of muddiness in order to conceal your real clarity. Use the method of temporary retreat to make later advance. These are invaluable tactics for self-preservation. To get along in the world is just like crossing a treacherous river, you need a gourd to keep afloat. Even a wily hare has 3 burrows. Translated by Paul White.
116-4. In navigating life, it is better to appear a bit clumsy than overly clever. Better to be reserved than conspicuously sharp. Better to be easygoing than overly self-assured. And better to be low-key than overly flamboyant. This approach serves as the most effective antidote in facing the world, and is the most practical security measure in safeguarding one's wisdom and well-being. Translated by Wen Lin.
117. 盛极必衰，波极必复。
117. At its height, it will decline. Stripped to its core, it will rebound.
菜根谭原文：衰下的景象就在盛满中，发生的机间即在零落内，故君子居安， 宜操一片心以虑患，处变当兼百人以图成。
白话文注解：大凡一种衰败的现象，往往是早前得意时种下了祸根；大凡一种机运的转变，多半是在失意时曾种下过善果。所以，一个有才学修养的君子，当平安无事时，要存着忧患意识；处身祸乱时，要拿出坚忍的毅力以成大事。
117-1. Often, a phenomenon of decline is rooted in the seeds of misfortune sown during times of prosperity. Conversely, shifts in fortune are often a result of virtuous actions taken during moments of adversity. Therefore, a learned and cultivated individual should maintain a sense of vigilance in times of peace and tranquility, while demonstrating steadfast determination when faced with challenges, in order to achieve significant accomplishments. Translated by Bayan Defu.
117-2. The winds of reversal are prefigured in the fullness of prosperity. Burgeoning life lies silently in the deep freeze of winter. Thus, when feeling contented, it is appropriate for the noble person to be prudent, ready for calamity, and in times of adversity, to watch with hardened fortitude for ways to turn things around. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 117-3. The factors of decay are already latent in times of greatest prosperity, and a new lease of life starts to exist at a time when everything is in decay. So, during peaceful and abundant times a man of virtue pays attention to the possibility of disaster striking. Conversely, during troubled times he redoubles his fortitude and maps out the course of his future success. Translated by Paul White.
117-4. In most cases, a phenomenon of decline often stems from the seeds of misfortune sown during earlier prosperity. Conversely, a shift in fortune is often a result of virtuous deeds planted during times of adversity. Therefore, a gentleman with talent and cultivation should maintain a sense of vigilance during peaceful times, and exhibit steadfast determination during times of adversity in order to achieve great things. Translated by Wen Lin.
118. 其意无远时，独行无恒操。
118. Those amazed by the extraordinary lack profound understanding. Those who persist in solitary endeavors lack enduring principles.
菜根谭原文：惊其喜意者，无远大之时；苦节独行者，非恒久之操。
白话文注解：一个喜欢标新立异、行为怪诞不经的人，不会有高深的学识和远大的见解；一个苦守名节、自视清高、独断专行的人，做事难以持久。
118-1. An individual who is fond of being eccentric and unconventional in their actions is unlikely to possess profound knowledge and insightful perspectives. Someone who rigidly clings to their reputation and views themselves as morally superior, while making decisions in isolation and with inflexibility, will find it difficult to sustain their endeavors. Translated by Bayan Defu.
118-2. Those who are fascinated by the amazing and exotic cannot discern the grand and lofty. Those who undertake austerities alone cannot maintain their performance for long. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 118-3. A person who is fascinated by wonders and novelties is one who cannot have far-reaching knowledge. A person who is uniquely self-demanding will not be able to preserve his virtue for very long. Translated by Paul White.
118-4. A person who enjoys being unconventional and exhibits eccentric behavior is unlikely to possess profound knowledge and far-reaching insights. Similarly, an individual who rigidly adheres to their reputation, considers themselves virtuous and aloof, and insists on making decisions independently, may find it challenging to sustain their actions in the long run. Translated by Wen Lin.
119. 放下屠刀，立地成佛。
119. Put down the butcher's knife, and become a Buddha on the spot.
菜根谭原文：当怒火欲水正在腾沸处，明明知的又明明犯着，知的是谁，犯的又是谁？此处能猛然转念，邪魔变为真君矣。
白话文注解： 一个人当愤怒像熊熊烈火一般上升，欲念有如开水一般在心头翻滚时，虽然他自己也明知这是不对的，可是他又眼睁睁犯着不加制约。知道这种道理的是谁呢？明知故犯的又是谁呢？假如当此紧要关头能够幡然醒悟，改变观念，那么邪魔恶鬼也就会变成道德高尚的真君子了。
119-1. When a person's anger ignites like a blazing fire and their desires surge like boiling water, they are fully aware that this is incorrect behavior, yet they continue to indulge in it. Who comprehends this contradiction? And who consciously engages in such behavior, despite knowing its impropriety? If, in that crucial moment, the person can reverse their course, the demon, guiding them astray, can morph into the master, who mirrors their innate true nature. Translated by Bayandefu.
119-2. When fiery anger or flooding desire bursts forth, I am aware of my condition very clearly, and with that clarity I transgress anyway. Who is it that is aware? Who is it that transgresses anyway? If I take up my power of awareness resolutely and shift my intention, the wicked demon could become a truly exemplary master. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 119-3. When a man becomes angry like a raging fire and his desires bubble up like boiling water, he knows full well that this is not right, nevertheless, he persists in his folly. Who is it that knows this frame of mind is wrong? And who is it that, knowing it is wrong, deliberately makes him commit such inanity? If the man can turn round at such a moment, then the demon who is leading him astray can be transformed into the master who reflects the man's original true nature. Translated by Paul White.
119-4. When a person's anger rises like a blazing fire, and their desires bubble up like boiling water within, even though they are aware that it is not right, they continue without restraint. Who understands this truth? Who knowingly persists in wrongdoing? If, at such a crucial moment, one can awaken, change their perspective, and embrace a new mindset, even the demons and evil spirits within can transform into morally upright gentlemen. Translated by Wen Lin.
120. 无偏信自任，无自满及人。
120. Do not blindly believe in oneself, and do not be complacent or envy others.
菜根谭原文：无偏信而为奸所欺，无自任而为器所使，无以己之长而行人之短，无因己之拙而济人之能。
白话文注解：不要偏听偏信，以免被奸诈之徒所欺骗；不要刚愎自用，以免受到一时意气的驱使；不要炫耀自己的长处而彰显别人的短处；不要由于自己的笨拙而嫉妒别人的才干。
120-1. Avoid being swayed by biased information, lest cunning individuals deceive you. Refrain from stubbornly insisting on your own opinions, to prevent being driven solely by momentary emotions. Do not boast about your strengths while highlighting others' weaknesses, and do not become jealous of others' talents due to your own limitations. Translated by Bayandefu.
120-2. Don't place your faith in the one-sided and let yourself be cheated by scoundrels. Don't affect self-confidence and make a display of your fortitude. Don't use your strengths to expose the weaknesses of others. Don't rationalize your incompetence by disparaging the talents of others. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 120-3. Do not listen only to one side or you will be easily fooled by evil people. Do not be blinded by self-conceit and driven by self-will. Do not use your strong points to belittle others. Do not let your own mediocrity make you jealous of others' abilities. Translated by Paul White.
120-4. Do not be swayed by biased listening and blind faith, to avoid being deceived by cunning individuals. Refrain from being obstinate and self-willed to prevent being driven by momentary emotions. Avoid flaunting your strengths to highlight others' weaknesses, and do not harbor jealousy towards others' abilities due to your own shortcomings. Translated by Wen Lin.